Hey guys, so in about a week and a half from now, I'm actually going to be starting competition prep, and I'll be starting a competition prep series when that time comes. Until then, I just kind of want to explain to everyone my journey and why I love fitness so much and how I got to where I am and the battles that I've had to go through with body image and things like that. So basically, to start off, I always had a very negative body image growing up. I wasn't overweight by any means, but I was just always friends with the girls who were always thinner. I remember one time, I was really young, I was in about elementary school, and I was on swim team, and one of my friends, we were changing, and she goes, "You're fat," and I was just like, oh. And I think that's kind of where everything stemmed, and I just realized that I was bigger than most girls, but I really wasn't. It was just kind of the people that I hung out with. And also, my whole family is very fitness oriented, and I was not. I did sports and things like that, but for instance, my dad did bodybuilding competitions, and my mom is just like ripped, and my brother is currently a D1 athlete. So actually, that's why I am in New York right now in a hotel room, because in about a couple hours we're gonna go and watch him in the national finals. So yeah, good luck to Nico, even though this will be in later times. Okay, so anyway, by the time I got to middle school, I was playing softball, and whenever I was in 8th grade, I decided to stop playing softball and kind of gear more into the musical theater route. And with softball, we were doing conditionings all the time, so whenever I chose to do musical theater, I just decided to start working out more because I wasn't going to be like I was with softball conditioning. So I started running a lot, and I really liked it. And then in the summer, I was like, why am I running so much? And I still haven't lost weight because I just didn't feel great about myself. And I actually developed an eating disorder. I'm not going to go into detail about what exactly it was, but I developed an eating disorder, and that is where all the trouble kind of started. And just as time went on, I was just not eating the right things and didn't like realize exactly what I was eating, what I was putting into my body, because I wasn't achieving the goals I wanted to. And whenever I was in 9th grade by this point, about the beginning of it, I remember I was sitting there after dinner, I was eating a banana bread muffin, putting peanut butter on it, and I was bawling. I was just like, why? I'm trying so hard. I'm not losing weight. I'm eating all these healthy things. My dad's like, do you realize you just had dinner and then you're eating something that is very calorically dense right there? And I had no idea really what he was talking about. And I was like, oh, so what? Like, he's like, do you know how much like fat is in that much peanut butter you have right there after you already ate a full dinner and you've been eating all day? That's what's going on. And then he knew I wasn't gonna listen to him about weight training and working out, so I started working with a trainer at our local gym. She was super helpful, but there's always those different theories in nutrition and exercise that come up, and I was researching a lot. I was always looking at articles, but whenever you're younger, you don't know what articles to actually follow. I remember I wasn't supposed to eat carbs after 6. I was doing 6 days of 6 cardio sessions a week, and I would go to the gym and just run on the treadmill, do anything from like 3 to 8 miles and lift a little bit. And that started all in October, and by the time I got to December, in October I was like 123, in December I was probably like 108, I think I got down to. And that's whenever people started saying things to me. So a lot of girls in school, I was not anorexic, I was eating, it was not a lot of food. I calculated it one time, like recently, and I think every day I would eat maybe 1,000 calories. Like, it was nothing, and I was working out so much. But girls at school, I was in 9th grade, so they were starting rumors that I was anorexic, and I was always talking about exercise and food and everything like that. I was completely obsessed. I worked out all the time. I was obsessed. Like, my gift for Christmas, the one thing I wanted the most was these Kim Kardashian exercise DVDs. Like, that's just what I wanted. And so the girls I was friends with just didn't want to be friends with me anymore. They were so sick and tired of hearing me just talk about exercise and what I was eating and things like that, and I was so obsessive. And that was really hard, because I basically was just gotten to high school, lost weight, and I thought I'd be so happy because I lost all this weight, but I was still had a negative body image. I lost all my friends, and here I am every weekend just staying home alone. It was so horrible, because I was just very upset all the time. And then I decided to try out for the volleyball team. So I was practicing for that. So we would have conditionings and practices for 2 hours. I would also try to get workouts in. And on top of that, we were starting musical practices, which I'm dancing there too. So I was doing all these active things. And I remember I was just getting lower, dropping weight. And I think one day one of my dad's friends said to him that they're like, kind of, what's wrong with Alexa? She's thinner, she's not herself. And my parents knew what was going on. Originally, whenever they saw me working out basically every day, they were like, no, Lex, you have to take at least one day off. So they were trying to monitor that. But every day off, I would go into my room, put the heat on really high, and just do different like lunges, squats, push-ups, just anything just to burn calories that I thought I needed to burn. Anyway, then my dad's friend was just kind of brought it more to his attention. And I remember one day we were just sitting in our family room and my dad's like, Lex, you're not doing a good thing to your body right now. This is not okay. You're burning so many calories. You're obsessed. You were looking good, and now it's just to the point where you're so thin and it's just not healthy for you if you want to have kids one day. Because at this point I had amenorrhea, and my dad's like, if you want to have kids someday, which I know you want to, you're gonna have to really fix what you're doing. And that was so hard for me because at that point I realized I did have a problem. Throughout the next few years, it was just kind of a battle, but I always had that in the back of my head. I was always researching food, exercise, whatever. And sometimes it was a great outlet for me. I absolutely love fitness. It's incredible and it's a great outlet for someone. But I was using it too much, and it got to the point where I just had a very bad relationship with food. And yeah, it was like a roller coaster throughout all of high school. Sometimes I would be really on point and be like, no, it's okay, I can treat myself. But usually what happened is whenever I would treat myself, because all other times I'd be very restricted, I would treat myself and just go ham. I would binge so hard, feel horrible about myself. And it was just a very bad cycle, but it did improve as I went through high school. And then my senior year of high school, I actually ran a half marathon, so that was another fitness landmark that I achieved. Something that is very important, if you know someone who's suffering from an eating disorder, especially if it's a family member, you need to bring it to their attention. I am so incredibly blessed to have the family that I do, that they brought it to my attention. They knew that I'm gonna love them regardless, and even if I'm mad at them for them telling me that I have a problem, it's ultimately in my best interest, because there were so many other girls who I tried to help who were having eating problems after I'd already suffered it. I kind of knew how to help them. Their families weren't there. Their families were either in denial, didn't realize it was happening, or just didn't want to talk to their child about it. And that's the worst. The best thing is for a family member to approach the person who's suffering this, because they're really going to listen to them and they're going to take the word that they have. And another point is, if you have a friend who is having eating problems, you just need to be there for them. I'm not saying you need to really bring to their attention. I would probably say, if they're close to their family, I would say bring it to their family's attention and talk to them and have them help them through it. But you just need to be there. Like, I lost all my friends. That was horrible. Like, every day I just felt on eggshells being around people, because I didn't know if they liked me, if they were talking about me. Everyone was talking about me behind my back, and it was very difficult. And so if you do have a friend, another thing that's kind of touchy, at least this is what I experienced, and I've talked to other people about this too, and this is what they experienced. If a girl would come up to me and say like, oh, you're looking skinny, I would be like, she's just jealous of me. She just wants me to gain weight so I'm not thin anymore. And that's kind of what was always going through my head. I didn't realize that maybe people were coming to me trying to help me. So that's just definitely, if you have a friend going through this, a family member, you just need to stick by their side, because it is very difficult. A lot of the times they don't realize what's going on. Anyway, so I got into college and I met my best friend Emily, and we are actually competing together this summer, and I'm super excited because I haven't seen her for a year and a half and we talk every day. So I met her, and she has a very similar past to me, like me, and even she ran a half marathon her senior year about around the same time I did, and we got the same time. It's very weird. So I met her and we were both very into fitness. We ended up living together the second semester our freshman year, and she was like, I'm gonna do a bikini competition. I was like, okay, I'll support you, that's awesome. Then she kept on encouraging me to do one. I was like, no, whatever. And then one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I decided that I was gonna actually do a figure competition, because my dad was gonna help me with the training, like the working out, and I actually had a different nutrition coach. But I was like, if my dad's helping me with the training, I'm gonna feel very awkward getting up on stage showing half of my butt to the audience. So that's why I chose figure. And that was an incredible journey. It was I went from about probably like 115 to 118 to about 102, and that was crazy. I got super lean to the point where like I was laying on the ground and like my bones, I would feel it and it would hurt like on the carpeted ground. And I think I got down to what my coach actually got with the skin calipers. I was about like 7 to 8% body fat. So that was crazy, but honestly, it was incredible because I was just running on adrenaline every single day. I got so much closer to my faith during that time that it was just one of the greatest experiences ever. So after that show, I actually did the figure category. I got 4th place, and a lot of the women were a lot bigger than me. I didn't realize the lack of muscle that I actually had. So that competition was 102, and then throughout from about, that was in August, and then until January, I got up to 123, which in all honesty, a lot of girls do have that post-show rebound and gain a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight, but it was absolutely needed. Again, I was at 7 to 8% body fat. A lot of that weight gain was actually muscle, which was very beneficial. So yeah, so I started prep in February. I was gonna be doing a May show, so I actually ended up doing like 18 to 19 weeks of prep. What actually happened was I was not feeling very good about myself that I'd gained 20 pounds, even though I looked fine, I looked great, but I basically started prep early because I didn't feel good about myself and I wanted to lose weight, which is never a reason to start prep. You need to love your body as it is, because through the whole entire time you're gonna be evaluating it, so you need to love your body as it is before you start competition prep. And I actually started with a different coach than I had for the first show, just because I wanted to try something else out. And later on, I'm going to do a video about coaches and what to look for, what not to look for, because that whole prep was, I ended up having 3 coaches, someone, and then went back to my coach for my first competition because I knew I trusted him, and I was like, you need to fix what's going on, because I wasn't dropping. I ended up having a horrible relationship with food. So at that show, which was in May, I was planning on doing the bikini category, and then on the Thursday before the show, I decided to enter the figure category as well. So that was really exciting, and then I got 2nd place in figure, and I won bikini short and bikini overall, which was super exciting. Everything was worth it, and I ate all the Oreos, and it was wonderful. So here I am now, about 10 months away from that, 1 week out from starting prep, and I'm just super excited for this competition prep, and I just have such a good mindset going into it. I'm so confident and so comfortable in my body right now that I'm gonna be able to judge it accordingly going through this prep, and I know it's just gonna be great, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I'm just super excited and I'm ready to go. So a few take-home points for you. Number 1, if you have a friend or family member who has an eating disorder or just a bad relationship with food, you need to always be there for them. Bring it to their attention, but be there for them, be by their side the entire time. Number 2, never start a competition prep for the wrong reasons, such as wanting to lose weight. You need to do it for yourself because you want the grind and you want to do well on stage. That's why I need to start a competition prep. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm just so excited for what's to come. I'm looking forward to starting my bikini prep series. So if you want to watch those, just stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. If you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and week and whatever happens after I post this video and whatever time it is. So yeah, bye guys.